everyone, Lenora Faye here. The following episode you're about to listen to or watch is our appearance from the 2021 Virtual Childfree Conference, which happened last July. The three of us spoke on a panel called Childfree Collaborations, and we talk about how to start them and why they are important. This panel is moderated by Cody Hetzel of childfreefamily.com and takes you behind the scenes on how we make Childfree Girls work. So we hope you enjoy this episode.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the panel Childfree Collaborations, Why They Are Important and How to Start. I'm Cody, co-founder for the Childfree Conference, and I'll be joined today by the terrific trio, the Childfree Girls, Kristen Tetzi, Isabel Firecracker, and Lenora Faye as our speakers for today. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
The tables have turned and you're all in the hot seat. All right. Everyone gets to ask you guys questions. So let's just dive right in. Whoever wants to start this off, what does it mean to collaborate?
To me, it's coming together, to bring a shared vision to life, essentially. Thinking about our specific collaboration, the podcast, we had a specific vision for it, and the three of us are working together as equals, bringing our talents, resources, gifts, and abilities to the table to make this project happen. So to me, and to us, I feel like what it means to collaborate specifically. Sorry, I'm a little tired.
I can imagine. Anybody else?
What it means to collaborate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to misunderstand what collaboration means, and if you're a more independent worker, to see it as something you're not remotely interested in because you think maybe it means you have to come together into one unit the way the three of us did. But I think collaboration can be expanded or at least loosened up as a term to include simply telling other people about other people, like us telling some of our child-free audience about other child-free accounts they might be interested in, or where they might find information we don't provide. But someone the other day emailed us to ask about whether there might be some museum somewhere for child-free or of child-free people. And I said, well, I have no idea, but I do know that the Trixie Films Instagram page regularly features famous or known child-free people with quotes and everything. So I really think collaboration just means not being so concerned with the self that you're afraid to share the resources that you have and the other people who are involved in this with the same kind of mission or focus or goal, even if it's slightly different, which they almost always are.
Mm-hmm. Isabel, we've got you muted, but do you have anything to?
I would just add that collaborations is also, it's a way to have people, because we all have different skills, we all have different strengths. So it's a way for us to come together and sort of capitalize on that, rely on each other on things that we know the other person's better at. And so that makes things work a lot more smoothly, and it's a lot of fun, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm feeling left out. I'm going to wear my glasses too because my eyes are tired.
So why are child-free collaborations not only important, but necessary? Whoever wants to jump on that.
I'm on it. I think they're necessary because there are so many different kinds of child-free people. You have people coming from vastly different environments or backgrounds. Every child-free person is obviously unique, just as every human is like a snowflake. But the experiences they have, or like whether it's a cultural upbringing, a religious upbringing, even a regional upbringing, like there are all different kinds of situations people are in. And in some situations, being child-free might be easy and lack a lot of conflict, but there's still frustration with judgment. You might have people who have a lot of conflict and a lot of judgment, and might be scared to have this feeling of not wanting a child. So I think if you're collaborating with other people in the child-free arena, you are increasing your chances of being able to speak to various types of people.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about collaboration is that it's kind of the opposite of competition. If you're competing, your goal is to beat competition. And so you can't collaborate with other people, and you're essentially trying to silence or minimize other people's voices in what I think is too important of a arena, at least in the child-free world. I think it's too important to not be willing to work with other people and to focus more on your own standing or how you feel like you're positioned in that area. That's not what this is about. This is about people who actually in real life, there's someone out there who's minutes away from making a life-altering decision they don't want to make because they feel pressured to do it. And this is going to affect the rest of their days. I don't want to compete I don't want to compete for those people. I just want to make sure we get to them no matter how.
Yeah, great points. Anybody else?
I think it's also important. Sorry, I think collaborations are also very important because we want to bring awareness that this is a choice, right? Like this is the one conversation that most child-free creators have.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened to me personally. I didn't know that having a kid was a choice until I was in my 30s, basically. And thankfully, I hadn't had a kid at that time. And people are like, but how could you not know it's a choice? And there's just so many factors that come into play. And so having this collaboration is also a way to amplify our voices and let other people know, people who haven't made a decision, that they have a choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lenora?
What they said.
A loss for words. All right. Well, and I guess another take on it is that it helps to collaborate in the child-free realm because sometimes you get tunnel vision, and by having power in numbers, if you have someone else working with you that has a different background, different experience, it might enrich the message that you're trying to put out there as well.
Absolutely.
So, a collaboration usually starts with a single idea or a goal. So how do you find a person to work with who aligns with that mission?
I think there are two things that come at play there. The first one is to have the same goal. So it has to be something that the other person wants to shares with you, right? Like sort of like a mission in a way. Maybe they have their own established brand, maybe they don't, but it's something that they really like care about. It's something that they want to do, something that they're passionate about. That's one thing. And the other thing that I think is really important is that you need to share more or less the same values with the people that you're going to collaborate with. That's super important because someone could be wanting to get to the same place where you're going, but if they don't share your own values, it's really hard for it to work.
I often feel like there's a little bit of luck because, I mean, quite honestly, both of these women showed up in my inbox. And, you know, I remember when it happened, like I was already thinking about it would be cool to collaborate. I didn't know how, when, where. So there's also like finding people. Sometimes people come to you and then, you know, you decide if it's a right fit, and not everyone will be, but you know, and I'm going to say it's luck, but I believe it can be a little bit more than, there's a little bit more than that. You know, it takes effort, but if you're in the headspace, you're kind of thinking, I would like to do something, but I don't want to do it by myself. People do have a way of showing up in your inbox at times.
I think it helps too to not be too, like, to be careful enough, get a sense that the people you're going to collaborate with are, like Isabel said, of the same, maybe the same tone, the same, you know, basic core values in terms of how you communicate with people. But because collaborating can be scary, because who wouldn't think, what if it goes wrong? What if it all falls apart? It might. You never know. There's no way you're going to know until you do it. It's, I mean, come on, you're just collaborating, you know, you're not operating on somebody. Just try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No harm. Life's short. Just go for it.
Yeah.
We're operating on pronatalism.
Oh, we got a question incoming. Here we go. Exciting. So what do you guys love about Childfree? What do they love about Childfree women?
Oh, Childfree sister.
What are you saying, Childfree sister? Is this for the guys? This might be for the guys.
That was your question for the guys.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Well, I can answer that question, I guess. Lots.
So you'll find an appropriate question for this panel specifically later. Anyway,
pay attention, Jared.
Speaking of conflict, so how do you guys deal with conflict resolution should that ever arise within your collaboration?
Oh, it has.
Has it?
Yes.
You guys,
but you wouldn't even know it.
You wouldn't even know it. Well,
this is the thing, though. You wouldn't know it because we communicate so well, and I think communication is everything. If there's things that you need to talk about, if there's things that you don't agree with, if there's things like anything at all, communication is basic. And we have the little hurdles that we've had to pass have been because, I mean, we have done it very smoothly and seamlessly because we communicate very well.
Yeah. There was something that Kristen had said once about, I think this was on our first year, that we have this sort of professional thick skin, if you will, when we came together, which allows us, the three of us, to have a conversation about whatever it is we need to have a conversation about, to communicate, to say our piece. We're not precious, if that's the word you like to use, Kristen. We can talk about it because we are friends. We didn't know each other before, so we kind of came into it in a kind of a professional level, if you will. But that does help because first and foremost, the vision of what we're aiming for with Childfree Girls is the most important over any sort of individual. Not to take away from how we feel, and we say what we need to say when we need to say it, but that bigger vision, and that's again like, what does collaboration mean for, like, to me, it's coming together for that shared vision, and we always keep that in mind, which makes it seem like we've never had a hurdle to get through. I guess we have, but it doesn't feel like it because that vision is always like the big focus.
I think that kind of communication is also easier when you don't have one person in the collaboration wanting to be the top person. There's nobody, we're not competing to be the Childfree Girl or Childfree Girls. And we've made a point of staying a unified unit. I was writing earlier today, so I'm worded out. Like I have nothing. But we made a point of not, putting our names on anything individually. Like all three of our names are on our book. All three of our names are on our tweets. Like we are responsible for our tweets. We are responsible for our Instagram page. We are responsible for that book. Completely, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And so because that ego isn't there, I think it's also easier to work through a conflict because there's not that insecurity of, I don't know, being overtaken or being shut out. It's just, okay, we're disagreeing. It also helps, I think, that it's in chat, because if it were an immediate verbal situation, that might be different. I don't know. I'm just, as human beings go, they tend to say things sometimes before they talk, or they say it in a certain way that doesn't come across the way it's meant. And so you have time to both pick your words and no one can hear you.
I'd be worried about that though, because sometimes like emails and text, they come across reading them wrong. Like it's like that's not the inflection that you may have meant. So I can see that though.
But we know each other really well, though. Yeah. I mean, it's not like we talk. Well, we text every day. We've texted every day since we started. We don't see each other on video every day except for when we're recording. So that's every other week. But we've for some reason we bonded very fast and know each other well. So when Kristen's sending us a text, I'm reading it in her voice exactly the way she would say it. And same with Isabel, accent included. I mean, it's just, I can hear how they would say it because I do know them so well. I think it's they would say the same for me. Like, it's just when you know the other person, then it's easier because yeah, you're right. I could read a flat text from Kristen and I could be like, whoa. But I know how I know Kristen, so I know the intent behind it. So that helps too.
That's trust. So that's another thing that helps with conflict resolution is trusting the other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not trying to hurt you. We're all friends here.
Right.
So there might be someone who's listening to this or watching this later, and they're maybe working on a collaboration with somebody, and it's just losing momentum, and it's hard to get the other people motivated. So how do you guys maintain that momentum to keep your project going?
I send them 1,000 reminders every single day.
She does send reminders.
Even today, I was like, guys, we got our panel coming up. I was like backstage here.
She does. I think keeping communication channels open is one thing. Like we talk, like Lenora said, we text every single day since we started our collaboration 2 years ago. It's our 2nd year anniversary tomorrow, by the way. So
hey.
We've been texting each other every day, and I think also checking in with each other too. Things change, things might change, and I think it's important to. We don't do this every day, but check with each other and where we are and if it's something that we're still interested in pursuing and so forth. And I think it's important to just listen to each other.
Yeah.
And also there will be times where you are afraid it's not you're not reaching as many people as you want to, or something isn't working the way you thought it would, and that will only happen usually because when something starts, you're super excited and you're all buzzy about it in your head, and then it becomes just what you do. And I think maybe that kind of can be felt like a stagnancy that isn't really existing out there, but maybe you feel it in you because it was new before and now it's not new and you feel like it should be new, and so maybe you're less excited about it. And I think what we've done, if that has happened, is just do it. Just keep doing it, because we've seen that people were paying attention. We've seen that we were reaching people. We were getting emails from people. So we knew that we were getting to people we really wanted to get to. So that had to count for something. And just because we might at one point or another feel like, oh man, I think we're just like, I don't know. I just think we're sort of flowing along. We're not. We're just used to it a little bit. And so you just, okay, well, whatever, float again today, float again tomorrow. And eventually in yourself, I think you get re-energized. I think people just go through those, call it a biorhythm or whatever, but it's usually you and not the project itself. And if it is, if you feel like it's stagnating and you're looking at your numbers or whatever, or reactions, and you're seeing that it's stagnating, but you're still into it, change it. Try something else.
Yeah. And so, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, there's times where really we get energized by like just actually doing the show, like because we do it every 2 weeks, and this has not changed at all for me. Is that every time we log in and we do it on Zoom and then we record it on video and we have the audio, but that hour or hour and 15 or whatever we're together, like I always feel awesome after, because it's like we've gotten together again, and it's like discovering your lover like every time you get together. So it's just like, hey, we remember
hitting
why
on
we're
us
doing
again.
this. Sorry. Chemistry, what can you say? I'm not. You remember what brought you together in the first place, and we did have kind of an instant connection, at the beginning, and that's always remained. So because the podcast and series is essentially what we do, like that's the core of everything. So when we do get together, it just re-energizes everything. So no matter what's happened the last 2 weeks, whether it's, like, because we collaborate every day for social media, but except for today, but like there, it's always renewed. There's that feeling, and that has stayed consistent. And so that keeps me going. And I think that's what that's what keeps the three of us, because we remember that bond, because you don't get that with everybody. So, it's just doing what we came to do originally, which is podcasting. And when we're all on screen together, like even right now, I'm like, it's great. And not because I'm overtired.
Well, so how has your collaboration benefited each one of you individually on an individual level?
It hasn't. No kidding.
Maybe not financially, but spiritually. I don't like, how
Kristen's no longer spiritually bored.
It's true. It's also, in addition to the obvious, which is feeling like we're actually, it's benefited me because I did learn that, you always know that together is stronger. Like the more minds you have, like you said earlier, Cody, the more minds you have coming together, the more angles of creativity you have coming together, the more of a single thing you're going to put out that has more facets and therefore is more interesting to more people or more effective. But I've never actually put that in practice before. I've never been a team player. So that's been really rewarding and educational. Reaching people has benefited me personally in my soul, you know, because you feel good about yourself if you're making other people feel better.
Yeah.
But it's also the more the three of us have talked about it, the more people we've invited to talk to us and to learn from them. Just the more I've learned about it, period. The more I've learned about the various types of and reasons for child-free choices. And the better I've been able to address certain opposing, I don't even want to call them arguments because that elevates the opposition to something that warrants whatever. But, you know, I've better learned to address those who don't like people choosing not to have kids and to do it in a more rounded and probably compassionate way and educated way, more educated way.
Yeah. Yeah. Isabel, Lenora.
I would definitely have to agree with Kristen in everything that she said. I mean, we keep learning every day and we also keep evolving. Like we see each other evolve since the beginning of the show, since the beginning of our collaboration until now. Our ideas, our way of thinking, our way of seeing things. Of course, I'm talking about things child-free specifically, but also other things. And I think we also we learn not only from the people that we invite, but also from each other. I have benefited personally as well because I found two of my favorite people in the world. Like I love these women.
Aww.
And that to me is also a big gain, you know, meeting child-free people and like being friends with child-free people. Everyone knows it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to find your like child-free friends. So this has been for me like a big plus, of course.
For myself, it's been freeing to finally feel like I can be myself as crazy and flamboyant and deep and whatever else that is me. Like it's been this really started a lot, like this collaboration started a lot of that for me because I mean, you never would have gotten me on video prior to that. And then when Isabel all of a sudden came and said, "Hey, I have this idea." I'm like, "Are you kidding? I'm not going on YouTube." And now I'm like, you can't get me off of it. So, you know, I mean, it's given me a way, like these two specifically, I've felt comfortable just to be myself, however I show up, you know, and because I learned through this collaboration that it's about the message, you know, I mean, not to make it about looks, but for me, I was always very self-conscious about being on camera. And like, again, it's like now I don't care, but it forced me to recognize it's the message. Like however you put yourself out there, you know, when you're passionate about it and you're working with people that match your level of passion and they support you exactly as you are without expecting you to change, that has been so empowering. And it's made me feel more brave to even, you know, help make this conference because it's just helped me step up my game working with these two. So, you know, that is, I never would have had any of these opportunities if I hadn't met Kristen and Isabel. So I am, you know, it's changed my life completely, which I am super grateful for.
I got a question, so I'll mute you, Lenora, if I have to. But so Isabel and Kristen, what did you guys think when she came to you and said, "Hey, there's this Childfree conference I'm gonna do"? What came to your mind when she brought this whole idea to you that she was working on it?
I mean, I think we've said this directly to her many times. We like totally supported her in anything that she wanted to do. It was like, go for it. She said to us, this is Childfree Conference. I don't think I'm going to have any time for the next month. Like my life is going to be over, but I want to do it. And we were like, go for it. And I think that, you know, that's all you need, the support of the people that you're collaborating with.
Because that's the thing, like the three of us came into this collaboration with our own brand, our own work. You know, we were already establishing ourselves in the child-free space as individuals, and we continue to do that. So when Isabel, you know, is working on something, we support each other in that as well, which is amazing and can't be taken lightly because, you know, it's not about, what am I trying to say? It's important. The support is invaluable. It really is, because it gives you freedom, because we're all good at different things. These two didn't want to do a conference. I didn't think I wanted to do a conference, but it was a good decision for me. So, we all have our lanes just automatically, and they're very different. So I can support Isabel, I can support Kristen, and they both support me, because we're all branching out as individuals, also as a collective, and we have each other's back, and that's been proven time and time again over 2 years. And I mean, what else can you say about that?
But the question wasn't for you, Lenora.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to mute her.
I know, I was about to, but she can also mute me because she has admin rights as well. So, Kristen, what do you think about her? When
Right.
She's like, there's these two random guys that want me to do a conference with them. Like, I don't know how she presented it to you guys, but
Jared already came on the podcast. Sorry, you got to mute me, Cody. I'm just going to answer for both of them.
Well, it's funny the way it started, because at first I thought, okay, she's, these two guys have a conference going and they want her to like do a graphic for them. That was what I remember hearing first. They want me to do some graphics. So I made this cool logo. All right, nice. And then she went from making a logo to I'm guessing organizing meetings with you two every week, keeping everything. I don't know. I just know that she went from making a thing to being just one of the three of you doing this whole conference. And I was not surprised at all, because she's utterly tireless and determined, and in a good way. I mean, she knows what she wants, and she knows how to do it. Yeah. And she's going to do it, and she's going to do it with a good attitude somehow.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So in closing, is there any way that people can get in touch with you guys, either individually as a Childfree Girls? What would you guys like to plug right now?
Childfree Girls, of course.
Yes.
How, where, what? If
The podcast, yes.
So we have a web series on YouTube. We have a podcast on every major podcasting platform, streaming platform thingy. Just look for Childfree Girls. We are also very active on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, Childfree Girls. And you can email us to childfreegirls@gmail.com. And we have a website, which is childfreegirls.com. And we have a book on Amazon, Lenora. Childfree Girls, Comfort Food for Thought. You can also grab one of those, Kindle or paperback.
All right. Anything else in the closing remarks? I think
we just hope to see more collaborations in the Childfree space. I
agree. We'd love to see it. Yeah. And thank you all for your time. Lenora, you're not going anywhere.
I got 2 more panels to moderate, so I'll chat with you girls
Isabel,
later.
You're not going anywhere either. So, thanks
bye,
for
Kristen.
your time, guys.
Am I getting kicked out now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. No, you say bye.
No, you say bye.
Oh my God, I'm leaving.
You leave first.
I'm going.
Bye.
Bye.